with the rotational change, Max starting, and a couple of other twists and turns there?
Yeah. Look, these are tough decisions, and there's a lot of different things that could work. We just felt at this time, this particular time, that these moves may clean up some things, with the rotation. But those aren't, easy things, and I think we all just have to have, empathy and grace, for some of these changes for the guys that didn't necessarily play tonight, and an understanding that we have a roster full of proven, capable guys, and we're going to need everybody. Particularly as we get this final push and get into the playoffs. A lot of this is going to be matchup based. But for this particular time, we just, we had to do some things, and we'll just keep an open mind, to what we may need to do, moving forward.
Eric, it did seem like it was about more than one move, though.
Yeah, no, this wasn't a one-move thing. We were very disappointed about the last 4 games, and this has been trending really, even before that, while we were winning. And again, it's not an indictment on anybody. Sometimes, these things can be chemistry things. Sometimes it's just the flow of certain guys playing off of each other. So you can finish your question.
Yeah, no, I mean, to follow on that, it seemed like you wanted to get out. Well, a couple of things. You got Tyler out there with some minutes with Bam earlier.
Yeah.
It seemed like you subbed Tyler in differently instead of subbing in for the 2 guard. You subbed in for Jimmy. But then also additionally, it just seemed like you wanted to get more shooting out there at times with Jimmy playing more, I guess, at the 4. Were there layers to this?
There are a lot of different layers to this. And again, it's just one game. Our roster is deep, and our roster checks a lot of different boxes, which we feel you need in the playoffs. If we're fortunate enough, to play multiple series, they have totally different needs and complexions, and we feel our versatility and our depth is really one of our greatest strengths of this team. But yeah, we just felt at this time, to be able to maximize the strengths of our, most skilled, most talented offensive players. We felt like these moves made sense right now. But we'll be open-minded, to do whatever's necessary moving forward.
You often talk about relief points in games. What about a relief game during a losing streak?
Yeah.
How nice is it to exhale, at least for the moment?
Yeah, I think it helps, for everybody. But I don't mind these stretches. They force you, if you approach it the right way, to address things. These are things that we had been feeling for, a few weeks, and it wasn't a matter of a lack of effort or a lack of want or a lack of commitment. There's some things, detail things that we needed to address, and we're going to have to continue to address them and try to get to, another level, a better version. That's what every team is trying to get to, but we're not satisfied where we are right now, to where we want to go.
What does it say about how much someone is a hoop head that a day earlier they lose in the Elite Eight to Kansas in Chicago, and the next night they're at your arena, Jim Larinaga, taking in tonight's game? What does that say about him?
What an absolute basketball junkie. I love him. I absolutely love him. Not to go on vacation, not to think about anything else or go on a recruiting trip or anything, but to enjoy a basketball game. That's a guy I can relate to. I like Coach L. I wish I could spend more time with him. We have spent some time, with these chalk talks and everything. But, if I was a young player or an older transfer player, I would like playing in that program. They have a lot of fun, and they do it the right way.
Well, it's only one game, but what did you like about the offense and as far as just bouncing back from?
I mean, we finally put some points on the board. That's been, frustrating for all of us. and we need to continue to get better. But the ball and body movement was better. Less holding. We're moving the ball. Guys were able to play to their strengths, but it was less stagnant for sure.
Eric, when you're making decisions in the rotation, how much or how important was it to try to get, excuse me, Tyler as much space as possible with shooters around him to
Yeah.
sort of maximize his ability?
I mean, you could say that for A, B, C, and D. I don't need to get into full detail, but you're on the right track there. There's some things that we need to, kind of maximize a little bit more. That certainly helps him. That helps Jimmy. We've seen what Jimmy can do. When he has open spaces to be able to be creative and be able to attack and be able to make plays. I know he had 3 threes tonight. I love that. But he was in a lot of places where he can be successful and effective. But same, for Tyler, and same for Bam, and on down the line.
Regardless of of the efficiencies and everything, Max and Duncan can do so many of the same things. With that starting unit, do you expect it to, at least offensively, operate and function
sure.
differently?
Yeah, I know what you're thinking. I know what you're asking. I want to be open to it. They are different players, so I want to be open to the possibilities of how it can look differently. They're both really important to our team. And I think it's easy just to put them in the same box. They're not. I just think, at this time, this made sense. But they're both really important.
Feel after everything that transpired last week?
Definitely good just to get back on track, At this point in the season, you just take a win any way you can get it. But good to, get some stops, get the ball movement. It's good.
And obviously, going to the bench, what changes for you? I know we asked you this in January when you played off the bench for those 4 or 5 games. What changes for you, and I guess in those different lineups when you're playing out as a reserve?
Yeah, not a whole lot, just still be aggressive. One thing that really changes maybe is who I'm playing with. But, just still try to be aggressive and do what I do.
To that end, when you're playing with different players now, do you sort of have to, now that you saw this move made, sort of go to school a little more in their tendencies, or because there's so many practices and so much time around guys and we're almost, 80 games into this, do you know guys well enough? Or does it change a little bit how you look at things and the guys' different styles you're playing with?
No, I'm pretty comfortable playing with anybody. At this point in the season, we're all pretty familiar with each other, so not much of an adjustment really.
Duncan, beyond that, Eric was talking about ball and body movement being better tonight, just generally across the board. What do you think triggered that in terms of you guys being a little less stagnant overall?
Just emphasizing it going in and executing. It's pretty simple. What we wanted to kind of really just emphasize, and I thought we got to it, which is good.
Duncan, after you guys had so much success this season, how much of this past week did you guys not try and make it feel like too big a thing, that maybe just a small rut because you guys have been so good most of the year?
I think to be honest with you, it felt like it was a big thing because it was, and it is. We got to figure it out, especially this time of year. The sense of urgency was high. Guys want to win. Everyone in that locker room wants to win. That's the one commonality. So, yeah, man, it was a big thing for sure. But at the same time, just learn from it and move forward.
How important and healthy was it for the team to get past the losing streak, to get back on the winning track, and honestly, to look like you guys and like yourselves again for the first time in a little while?
It's always good to win, especially at home. We made a few tweaks and got back to being who we are, guarding somebody, playing in the open floor, making shots, sharing the ball with one another. And that's the way that we want to look, and that's the way we want to play.
Jimmy, you did a lot of damage off the ball tonight, in addition to on the ball. How much does sort of your cutting, do you think, open up the offense for the rest of the team?
A little bit. Everybody's capable of doing it. Bam rolling to the basket, Tyler getting into the paint, Cal down on the baseline, Chuck down there cutting, setting screens. I kind of just follow suit, get in where I fit in for the most part, and I think everybody does the same thing. You know, you take the shots that the game gives you, and you pass it to get somebody open. We did a great job of that.
Spo mentioned that some of the tweaks made to the rotation were done to maximize the strengths of some of the team's best players. What do you think the small tweaks that were made today maybe did for you and Bam and Kyle and Tyler?
A lot. It corrects a lot of our spacing. It lets everybody know where the ball has to go and where everybody's supposed to be at on the floor. And it just made everybody so much more comfortable just because everybody knew where they were going to be, where the ball was going to go, so there was no questions that needed to be asked. Was out there just, playing hard, playing together, and it looked good because we were back to having fun. But like I always say, winning is the fun part.
Speaking of fun, Tyler looked like he was having fun with you when you were getting hot from downtown. How much were you feeling today from the 3-point line?
I was all right. I think, everybody's on my tail about it all the time. Shoot more threes. Who knows? Might be coming soon. But they're looking for me. Kyle, T, hell, even PJ. So I feel like as long as everybody's moving the ball, a lot of the times I'm on the receiving end, and the fact that I'm the one that's open.
Last week, Kyle showed that you got him a nice gift for his birthday on Instagram. What did you get Max Strus for his birthday?
I forgot to bring it, but I'm not going to tell him. I'll give it to him tomorrow on the plane or something. He's been bugging me about it for a couple of years now, so I got him a little something.
Max and Duncan can both do a lot of the similar things. They can run similar actions. So with Max in the starting lineup, does it operate very differently offensively for you guys?
Not really. We play the exact same. They both got the same role. I think Duncan still has to stay ready, because you never know. The way that this league and the way that we play, it could be any given night that it's you again. But that's the best part about this team. Like, nobody takes anything personal. Everybody's in it to win it. And it's tough. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna say that it's an easy thing to go through and an easy thing to handle it. But he's been handling it like a pro. So we're in his corner, and we're going to need him.
Yeah, you mentioned you guys having some more space to operate and everything. With Tyler, how much do you guys just trust in him and his ability to create and play make for others as he's continuing sort of growing on the fly here?
We trust in him a lot. Obviously, he has the ball a lot of the times. And when somebody does have the ball that much, you trust in him to take the right shots, which he does, and get everybody involved, which he does. But he's grown since he's came into the league. He's going to continue to do that, and we need him to be that going forward in the playoffs and as we make this run.
We're going to go via Zoom to Cassidy with ESPN.
Hey, Jimmy. So Duncan, just said that he thought last week's, disagreement was a big thing because you all have to figure it out, and it's an important time to do that. As you said, winning is fun. You learn from wins, you learn from losses. But do you believe it was an important situation for this team to go through?
I think so. I think we got comfortable a little bit, expecting that we're going to win night in and night out. Everything's not going to be all good. Everything's not going to be all bad. We understand that. I just think at the end of the day, we got to be in it together, which we are, and we're going to continue to be that way. Win, loss, things happen. We understand that as well, and we move on from it like we have, and we got one. So let's get back to stacking wins.
What does it feel like to you when this team is playing to its potential?
I feel like that we put together this roster to win a championship. It feels like a championship caliber team. It does. We have lapses at times. We got a couple more days, games to figure that all out. But when we're clicking, when we're guarding, when we're making shots, when we're sharing the ball, I think we're going to be really tough to beat.
Point or 20 points. How good did this one feel after what this team went through over the past 7 days?
I mean, it feels my food going to taste better tonight, in my opinion. But definitely a great win. We definitely need to bounce back. Feel like we dropped 4 we could have won.
Yeah, Max and Duncan are they can do a lot of the same things. So with Max in the starting lineup there, are you guys running anything differently, or is it mostly the same, especially as far as you're concerned?
Nah, mostly the same. Just we watched film today, got our spacing right, and we felt like this was the game where we could really needed to work on spacing and getting back to our old habits where we was moving the ball and everybody felt like they got a touch.
When we talk about spacing, why do you feel like the spacing might have been off the last 4 games? Was it more body movement and off-ball movement, or was it more lineup combination?
Adversity. I feel like it was more so like this was our first time like really being healthy 1 through 15, and I feel like in that stretch of 4 games, it was hard to get the right lineup for like the right spacing, and I feel like today we got our spacing right, and we seen that it works, and guys start to believe in that.
Bam, how much of an emphasis was it for you to get those rebounds today, just to not let those extra possessions give teams life?
It was Max's birthday today.
Bam, can you speak specifically what space means for you? Because I think we talk about it with individual players, but what does it create for you in terms of attacking matchups when defenses have to honor that?
Got open elbows. I'm more of a playmaker, so if it's 4 guys in the paint and 2 of them are our men, like we got to force up, bad shots, and there's no fluidity to our game, and I'm a big part of that. So having space helps me because I can get guys involved and also, assert myself.
All right, we'll go via Zoom to Christos Altas.
Hey, Bam, great game, great win. At
Appreciate
this
it.
stage of the season, how needed for you was a win in dominant fashion like this tonight, and how important is to bring your best basketball night in and night out?
It was Max's birthday, man. We dropped the ball on Cal's birthday, so Max was the next man up. So I feel like this great game from all of us was for Max.
All right, Bam, thank you.
Black Lives Matter, people. You ain't even asked a question.